Please describe your job title and primary duties.
All right, so I'm a fashion consultant. I work on the register. I do fitting room, shoes, giving people shoes when they come by. We do, what else do we do? We greet people, customer service. It's basically the title.
What was the work environment like?
The work environment is very fun. All the girls are outgoing and excited to be there. And customers enjoy the atmosphere. We have a lot of cute stuff, so.
Please describe the application and interview process.
Okay, so the application process is you do the application, you put in your information, and then you submit that. And after that, you go through an assessment. It's like about 5 parts to the assessment. You have like the qualities and everything, and then there's like a drug portion because the owner of Agaci is like very adamant on no drugs, no weed, nothing in the sort. So you have to pass that, and then they also have like a math portion where you have to pass that because you're going to be on register. You have to make sure that you're being accurate when you're handing out money and everything. I think it was those 3 main parts, but it was like stretched to 5 different sections of the assessment. And then after you submit that, then you are contacted for an interview. And after the interview, then you are given a decision if you are going to be hired or not. So.
What questions did the interviewer ask during the job interview?
What would you bring to this job? What else? Questions like, how would you deal with a customer who was upset because of something, or how would you deal with a very long line? If someone was really upset and people were getting, leaving everything, how would you deal with that? What would, I'm trying to think of some other ones. How would you being in this position change this, like, the environment, or what do you bring to the table, and stuff like that is basically it.
What set you apart from other candidates?
Well, when I applied, I noticed that my manager that I worked with for my second job, I worked at Claire's prior to applying to Agaci, or a job prior to Agaci, and she hired me because she knew that I was a good worker. She had experienced my work ethic and everything, so she knew that I was a good candidate. So that's what made me stand out from other people, because she knew how I worked and knew that I would get the job done and everything.
How were you notified that you received the job?
I was notified like maybe a couple days after my interview. And I was notified via email, and they also called me. And it took about, like I said, 2 days. It wasn't very long.
What other advice would you give to a job seeker looking to gain employment?
I would give them to just, stay on, if you really want the job, to stay on communication. Like, if they aren't getting back to you at a certain time, then, call them and, I really want this job. And getting your name out there to them, it will help them remember you. And then in the process, they'll see, oh, I remember her, she called, and then go ahead and, hire you on the spot.